Part N. We're back. Cool. Well, I don't think we left on a cliffhanger. We just kind of left a little bit stuck. We're experienced Rails and JavaScript developers, and we're seeing how much painful, or maybe the value here is to see us suffer through kind of just trying to pick up a tool like Django and Python to build an API. In the last episode or stream, we managed to get a Django REST framework API up and running on our local hosts, no problem. But we wrote some tests. Well, actually, we just wrote one test really, and relying on the test functionality that's built into Django. Which really, I mean, we can argue about this. I get the impression that they're basically like unit tests, but we can probably massage and expand them to the point where they're good request specs, because we want to be hitting our API with different requests. I mean, that's our ambition, to make sure that it returns the data it's supposed to return in the shape that we want it to be returned in. So, it's not rocket science, but it's probably used in rocket science at some point. And we left off. If you want to switch over to my screen, Thomas, I'm gonna zoom in and enhance a little bit. We left off. Here is our application. I'm using on my machine. I'm using virtual environment to kind of house my application. So we have this Django app. I did a little bit of reading up. So you can have many apps inside of your Django project, and they can do specific things and interact with each other. And another thing that I discovered is that I said to you, Thomas, that these views we're only using because of the built-in, kind of admin portal that you get with Django. That's just not true. When Django renders HTML, it calls those things templates. It does not call them views. Views, I think, we can more think about views like we think about controllers in Rails. And and I'm 90% sure there. And then if anyone wants to correct me, I would be much appreciated. But I'm pretty sure that's really the better way of thinking about this, because so basically, you have your models, which very similar to any ORM is where you can define your associations and so forth, and the structure, but logic and above all, serializing it should take place in the views, and the same thing. So, serializer, you're just giving shape to what you're returning. But if you want to do any kind of, calculation or what have you, that should happen in the views. That's the understanding I've reached after 2 days. So I don't know. We'll see.
That sounds like a controller, if you. Because you distribute logic between models and controllers in Rails. As they always say, is keep your controllers skinny and models fat, not vice versa. That's the dogma. But okay, interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, that doesn't mean so much for us right now, because this is more interesting. So we were just running some functions under, we basically didn't use a class, which you may notice this class testing extends this API test case. I can actually, if I want, I can use the test case, which is a class coming from the Django test, kind of.
Okay.
And so if I run this command now, let me make this a bit bigger too. If I run this command, It should still work. Yeah, so basically it found one test. It creates a test database and aliases it to default. Then it does a system check. It identifies no issues. Then it runs the one test. This is okay. Why is it okay? Because we were actually going red before because we had users here. And if I run this test now, we should fail the test. It still creates the database, all happy, but it gives us an assertion error. Very annoyingly, it does not tell us
Yeah.
what it got.
Yeah.
So there must be some kind of more verbose flag I can pass into to this test, but we haven't gotten there yet. However, let's just go back to the actual structure of these things. So if I run this, I get the okay.
What I would do is, can you just pass in the -v flag after this? No.
All right. The flags we have are H, no input, fail fast, test runner, pattern. I wonder what this is. And then special settings.
No color, force
Traceback, no color, force color. Oh, we should have some color in our tests.
Yeah.
Debug
and is
mode.
it still PyTest, or what framework are we using for testing now? Do we know that?
No. This is what we get in Django. I don't think it's the same as PyTest. PyTest you have to install using pip. I'm just gonna try in debug mode to see if that, probably not, but and then I'm gonna make it fail. Hang on. Users. No. What else did we have? Tags, timing, version, no fault handler, parallel. I mean, we know what that is. Keep databases if you want to persist the test database. Fail fast. No. Oh, wait. Look. Test argument -v -- verbosity expected one argument. So verbosity, do I have to say true?
I don't know.
That seems weird.
Okay.
Is it true with a capital?
No.
Oh, okay, verbosity invalid int. It's supposed to be an int.
So just say 1.
Yeah, that's what's coming up right now.
Do 2.
Okay, don't you think it should be 0?
Is there any difference?
Not that I can tell. Oh, 2. 2 created the database and then it did the migration for the test database. And so 2 was the answer. Why would they set it to 2? Okay, whatever. And then it fails the test. Well, and then it says it's an assertion error and it doesn't tell us what the assertion was. I mean, it says it's looking for response code 200, but it doesn't say what the response status code was.
Okay, so I see that 0 is least amount of details, 1 is the default, and 2 is more details print statement included. Okay, so if you do print, for instance, you want to set something in your code and so on, but it's still, that output isn't really interesting.
All I was looking for is like the value that it asserted against. Like I'm interested in what it actually got here, right? I'm not interested in that there was I am interested in that there was an error, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Django reporter. No, that's not it. Test report. Right. Yeah. Okay. But anyway.
All right. We learned something. But then also look. So this API test case is also inherits from test case. So if I pass it in as an argument, it's the same deal. And now I wonder, do we get anything? No, we do not. Okay. No, we do not.
Right.
But in any case, wrapping it in the class, passing in the actual case, the test case, gives us the database, builds it and cleans it afterwards, which is what we ended kind of with some frustration the stream of this morning on. So at least there's that. Little victories. Come on.
Yeah.
But since you mentioned PyTest, I take it you got to that blog post that was on tamerlan.dev. Which, towards the very bottom has this test which, basically does a GET request on some list articles and then asserts, but is it asserting the response here, or is it asserting it's taking a response from the GET request? And client is not defined here. Ugh, can you please write out your full tests? But it's maybe because he's using pytest.mark.django.db, because this function, he's not wrapping this in a class, or she, and so it's a little different than what we've done so far.
Yeah.
Bum, 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 bum. Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm just wondering if PyTest has a better printout of what's going on. Maybe not.
I wasn't really happy with that printout either, but it was a lot
No.
better than it's I think like we could if we I'm gonna search for Django test reporters. Uh, Reporters generate reports for tests in Django. Right. So it's verbosity too. That's what they say. Oh,
Yeah.
there's a 3 also in verbose
Oh,
3. Yeah, you can check
I'm
that.
wait, okay, I just gotta make sure that it'll fail first.
Well, actually, you can
Tests.
have it pass once with high verbosity.
Okay, let's try that. And high verbosity.
It's all the
Uh,
modules that are being used
yeah.
and all the permits. And
All right,
have it
let's have it
fail.
fail.
Yeah.
We get the
So not
assertion
much of
error in here. No, not really, huh?
no, not really.
I mean, I feel like it's mainly just verbosity about. Maybe I have to write the test differently. Maybe that's the problem. Is this assert? Should I do an asserts equals? Is that better? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
Because here we had. Let's try that then. Well, there's assert. And this one I liked, this dev.to post by Jean-Michel Plourde, who usually uses Django's test case, but here he's using API test case. It's just what I did a second ago there. Because it's basically, this is nice, it explains it. It's the Django test case, but with the same functions using API client. So API test case gives us the whole enchilada.
Mm-hmm.
So this is really nice. He does a setup function where he grabs the URL, he sets some home. He's using a factory. So yeah, he's using Factory Boy. I think this might be a good thing for us. But then the actual test, right? He's testing the get function. He's saying, hey, he's saving the response. The client he created somewhere. Okay. Then he does this render. Don't know what that does. Then he does an asserts equal. I'm just gonna steal just that one line because I wonder. And then asserts equal expected content JSON loads response. Okay, let's just do asserts equal to see if any of the print out. Maybe not. Well, let's see. Asserts equal 200 response dot status code. So let me go over here. Now I still have the wrong URL here, so this should not pass. And oh,
You got a 403.
yeah, but now I finally know it's a 403. That's great.
Yeah.
And so what if I do verbose on this one? I'm gonna go full verbose. Well,
Well, the error message is the same thing. It's just the
but we do most importantly get what the assertion error was. So it's a step in the right direction. I can see why people wouldn't use assert, but assert's equal instead. And then I wonder, what does it look like when going green? It just says okay. All right.
That's the thingy.
But that would imply that Yeah. I mean, this will work, even if it won't look very nice. 403 is that
That's wow, what is that?
I can't remember.
Hold on a second. Just 1 second. 403 status. That's forbidden.
Okay, so let's do you want me to force some credentials and see if I can
Yeah, go ahead and try that.
because we know am I in Art Nouveau here? Yes. Okay, I have the server running, and we know that on localhost 8000, if I go to /users.
Yeah, but you're using a test database, right?
Yeah, but I still, oh my God, what did I do? I still shouldn't, even if I'm using a test database, I should still get a 200 when I hit users, right?
Yeah.
Because users is defined, like when that migration happens, we're not seeding it, but it should be 200 nevertheless. It should just be empty, right?
I recognize you.
And so I think it's a worthwhile exercise to see if we can authenticate. Move that. If we can authenticate or force authentication somewhere here, right? Probably somewhere here. So let's see. In those, this was my favorite one, but I don't think he actually authenticated here. Yeah, he did. Look, he's doing a self.client.force authentication users. So he creates a user using the user factory.
Yeah, we use force authenticate somewhere, right?
Yeah, we did.
Tried that.
But if I don't, since I don't have factory yet, maybe I can. I think you did it. Hang on, let's see what the comment is here. Yeah, look at this. So we can request factory user objects dot get. Is this going to be really dot get?
Well, I was using create first, but then we didn't clear the database. So now when you clear the database, you can probably use a create.
Yeah. All right. So let me say, hey, if you're going to run this yeah, that seems okay.
But we also need to pass in email and stuff. Email and And why isn't he? Were you co-pilot of?
No, it's on.
Okay, because you had the last parenthesis. That's the co-pilot won't work.
You're right. Look at that. Okay. So here we are generating an actual user, in theory. And then we want to do some force authentication. Here we did it with request, but I think, first of all, we need to import it, right? And since it's coming from there, I'm going to just look at the docs really quick from the Django REST project and force authenticate. So here, force authenticate. What's annoying to me is that it doesn't make sense. Do I now have to use a factory as well? What do you think?
I would say no, because you can say you can store the request in the client get. You know that, or would that have to be a factory? Because you have client get somewhere, right?
I do, and that we get from this.
Yeah, so you have the response client get. You store it in the response, right? And then you
Yeah,
force authentic. Or I would pass in client get and the URL as the first argument of the force authenticate. So I would comment out line.
but if we do this like they have it,
Yeah, so the first argument is the request.
but I do it down here, right? And I give response and user.
Or you just pass in client get as the first argument.
Yeah, I can do that as well. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. But I'm not sure.
Well, let's try both. We'll start this way because it's more similar to what they have. It's not exactly the same, right?
We might
And
be
now that
making.
we know view is not what we thought, this is also anyway. Maybe I can just generate a token. But that's not the problem point. Request for user.auth token. Interesting. If you are reusing the same user instance, so you made a refresh from database between tests. All right, let's just try it. Let's just try it. Bum, bum, bum. So if I run the test now, sure, we get still a 403, but at least it did. It didn't yell at me about any of the code. And I also found out, and this is kind of neat, which is that you can run the debugger. But in order to do that, I need to create this launch JSON, and I can choose Django for that. So blam, 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 run server, true, just my code, blah, blah, blah. And now with this, I can close it. And if I put I wonder if this will work for the test.
Try that.
Oh shoot! Wait, but I may need to say test here, don't you think?
But no, instead of run server, you can't say run server. Either
Yeah.
that or yeah.
Okay, so let's see if this works. Anyway, what I want to do is to set this here and then run the debugger. That should open up this terminal. Look, I'm in the right virtual environment, and here
Right.
I am, and I
Okay.
can look at user, self,
Response.
the client, the response.
Now you got a
I guess
403 response.
yeah, but I was just interested in looking at Yeah, this is fine. Though, yeah, okay. I get the 403 because, yeah, in my mind, like if I go down one, um, oh, sorry. If I go down one, it doesn't matter. Um, I wonder why I imported email. That must have been automatic. Okay. Force authenticate doesn't seem to be doing very much because it sets request.user in that to the in-memory user instance.
Should we read some code? You want to switch over to me for just for a second? I
Yeah,
just
yeah, go
pulled
right
up.
ahead.
I pulled up. I found this arc Taki or whatever. Now, so he has a the namings are a bit off, but we have a just Django REST API, and I just pulled up a test that is called customer one list PY, right?
Hmm.
And what he's doing here, let me just make this a little bigger. I think we might perhaps learn something from this. I don't know. I'm not sure. But so he works with token, which we are not doing at this case, but he's importing this API test case and API request factory. I don't really understand why he just say wouldn't he just say comma and just import, because he's importing from the same library. He can do this as a one-liner, can't he? These
Hmm.
two probably. And then you import API from views, which is, I guess, you figured this one out, didn't you? Or this is the controller, kind of, or
From the API. Oh, I'm echoing.
no? I hear you good.
Okay. From the API, import views.
Or no, from API import views.
Yeah,
And
that's
then he has
that.
some, yeah. Then he has some test utilities, which is probably interesting to figure out what that does. But then this is a model, right? This is a customer, which in our case is the user, right?
Hmm.
I guess. Now, then he has freeze time, which is probably just a library to modify
Like,
time. We use time cop or something like that in Rails
hmm,
often.
hmm,
All right, so he's using class notation as you do, right?
hmm,
And he's passing in this API test case, which is what you are doing too, right?
hmm.
Okay. And then he has this setup. Is this like a before action?
I would imagine so.
But didn't you had something similar? No, but you saw something
No,
something.
I saw examples where that appeared to be the case.
Okay. So he's now he's storing some stuff inside of this class, like, so he's the URI, the view, and the factory. If we just start with that, so uh, this is the URI or URL that he will be hitting, but
Hmm.
this is kind of interesting. I haven't seen this yet, like views customer list as a view.
So in his views, he has a controller basically called customer list, and I would go on a limb as if we navigated over that is an index action for his customers,
Okay,
right?
okay. Let's actually check that out.
Yeah,
I think we can learn a lot by
yeah, yeah, yeah.
learning
This is
code.
the way.
You understand, right? So customer. Okay, okay. What
Yeah,
was
okay.
and
Try the view.py. Yeah.
okay. So I'm not very fond of this because the file or the folder is customer and the file is view, and he calls this customer list. Oh, no, no, no. Okay, so we can. Okay, I got it. Yeah, yeah, you were right. So we can store different classes in this view,
Mm-hmm.
and the customer list is the index action
Mm-hmm.
because he's getting objects all.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he actually is doing the same thing with lookup field. Okay, oh, well, the difference is lookup field, I guess. He doesn't pass it in. I don't. Yeah, I don't really know what this means. Permission. System admin user Django model permission classes. All right. Anyway, but that's the view. That's the logic to get either a list or the details about the customer. Got it.
Mm.
Okay. So as view is some like a, because he imported this view. Now where's views coming from? Oh, from API import views. Okay, so he imports all views from API and views customer list. Okay, I got it. And then he has a factory, API request factory. This is something we've seen before too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we messed around a little bit with that.
Okay. And then he's using something from the test utilities that creates a
Oh, look
super
at
user. So
that.
let's have a look at the test utilities. Let's see. That's in
That's awesome.
right. So we're gonna go to API tests utilities. There it is. And what create user? Here it is. We have this create super user, and if you don't pass anything in, you just create this with these settings, right? You can probably pass in some options, but you don't have to, because the option the function is has some presets, right? And
Hmm.
then user get user model. Get user model must be what? Where's get user model? Where's, yeah, contrib auth import get user model from
Okay.
directly from Django. Okay. Uh, so you do that, and then return user objects, create super user. But if create super user is a look, if create super user is a method that is already in the user that you get the in the user model, why would he has this as a static method for him? Oh, because he wants to be able to not have to pass in these function these
Values.
attributes.
Yeah.
So, and you already have a user. Like, if you just switch to use screen for a second.
Yeah. I have a user.objects.create.
Okay, so you can. Okay, so why don't you say user objects create super user instead? Like, just create underscore super user. You should have that function.
No. I need to import it, I think, from here.
I don't think so.
Now it's gonna yell at me. Or maybe not. Hmm.
You want to run it?
Yeah, I do. Oh. Well, we still
Yeah,
gotta,
but that didn't. So now we
it
can
didn't
go
yell at
back.
me. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, now we can go back to this one. Let's see what. So then
Right, because I'm not associating this request with the super user yet.
you are not.
No, look, I mean, where would I do that? I have, I
Okay,
generate a,
but how about if you set a debugger there? We can see if the user is actually being created.
yes, that is true. And now,
In the debug console, you can just type
yeah, debug
user.
console, there it is. So here I
Use.
can look at user,
Mhm.
and user is this guy named test, and they have all these functions and
And
things.
does he have a name or?
The most important is testemail.com, which is the one we gave.
Yeah.
So that's a legit user, yeah.
Yeah. So okay, so that worked. Okay, so we have a
Yeah.
super user. All right, let's read on what he's doing. So we have a user, and we have token objects create self user token object, right? Because he read in what the fuck is token is come auth token models. Do you understand? He's importing this here, and then he's creating the token, but I'm not sure what it's used for. So let's bear this in mind, okay?
Yeah.
All right, and then we
Hmm.
save the token, and I don't know what clear out database auto increments is, but
Auto increments are IDs, right? Like IDs um can
right.
increment even though they have been destroyed previously.
Okay, all right, all right.
Maybe, I don't know. That's
Okay, and now we say so now so this is the setup, right? So he stored a
hmm
lot of himself, which means that the class instance actually, has access to those. These are variables inside of the class, right? And
yeah.
so now he can say request self factory and get, and then the URL that he stored up here,
Yeah.
but he's passing in this
That's what we want.
HTTP authorization with token format
Hmm.
self token key
Wow.
because he saved it. Request user self user and response self and view was set to this list, right? And we pass
Hmm.
this in with the request. So
Hmm.
this is the setup. At this point, he can start running assertions, but first he just creates some expected responses,
Hmm.
and then self utilities. Okay, we can take a look at this. What assert response is, because he just passed this in, and he expected this. This is all self-made function, but he's running a double assertion, I guess, on the response. Let's have a look what assert response is. Assert, assert response. Self assert equal receive response status code. Self receive response expected. Oh, okay. So you see, he created this method himself, and then he expects status code received one instead format. Self assert equal. Yeah, you don't have to
No.
run it this way, of course. You can just run this assert, your own assert equal stuff. This this is a homemade assertion.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
But
why we
where does the request get
here
fired off?
here on line 30. Here's when you hit the here's where you hit the view.
Because views is customers list. But when you run views customer list as view, isn't that just oh
Are in your code, are you importing the view anywhere? No.
no. No, I'm not.
But also, you see this. But this. Okay, I understand what he's doing there. But in Rails, I never taught you this actually. I think when we went through the some training earlier, because
Hmm.
this resembles something called a controller spec.
Yeah,
Yeah, a
that's
controller
what
spec.
I'm
Yeah,
getting at.
yeah, a
Like
controller spec is
you're
not a
not
bad.
testing the route.
Yeah, it's not a bad way of testing it. But you don't really. It's a In a request spec, you spin up the application, you hit the damn thing, and you get a response. That's what we are looking for. Here
Yeah,
we are, fucking around a little bit with this stuff. So I'm not impressed with this, um, to be honest. And I guess that's why you call it functional tests and not,
acceptance. Yeah,
yeah.
or end. Yeah. Hmm.
And you have you have some right. So we didn't really,
Well,
yeah,
I mean, with this setup and creating the user, we did move forward a little bit,
yeah,
and also seeing where he attached the token.
yeah.
I'm sure that I could uh, pass that into our API test case.get. Um,
Mm. DRF spectacular. I'm gonna do a little more reading here in the background, because we need to find a good way to do these. I think this factory thing that you were into,
mhm.
yeah, or the API client. I don't know which one is the best here.
Well,
making
I
requests.
went for the requests client because they described it as it's useful if you are expecting to interface with the API. Well, permit from another Python service. Never mind. Never mind.
I would say, what do they say about API clients?
What do they say? The API client supports the same request interface as Django's standard client class. This means the standard get, post, put, patch, delete, head, and options
That's
methods
the
are
one.
all
That's the one.
available.
That's
Yeah.
look, and here actually, you know what? Look, we have the client, and
Hmm.
you can, if you look at client login and then username password, if you look below there, we already
Hmm.
created the
Oh, yeah.
user, right?
Oh, this is what we want. Yeah.
I think this is what we want.
All right, let's try for this. So first of all, I got to make sure that we grab API client. I'm not going to use force authenticate. Bye-bye. And so we won't need requests client, I think, because we will not. Well, let's hold my horses a little bit. We are instantiating a client using the API client. Okay, this makes sense, right? Then we are firing off a GET request to the test server / users, and we're asserting equals 200. So only doing that, we made a change, we run the test, we got a 301 instead of
Yeah,
a
because you're not authenticated. That's why it happens. 301 is a redirect.
yeah.
So now try to log in. So just client.login and use the
Okay.
same.
So here I'm going to say client.login and username is test
Yeah.
and the password is password. And cross my heart, hope to die. We still got a 301. Why is that? Test and test, password and password. Let me look at the docs again. Username and password.
Client
And
credentials.
yeah, we can try credentials.
Okay, create the token, import the token. You probably need
Yeah,
to, yeah.
yeah. So let's create a REST auth token. So first of all, I need to, from the REST framework dot, yeah, okay, they knew what I wanted. Let's create a token. And do I do that? I don't think it really matters where, but their token, and I will say create a token for this user. Because I don't think I need to say user underscore username, but I guess I could. But it's create versus get. It's probably get here, right?
Yeah.
Because they should be getting a token in the database. So let's try. We'll run the debugger if need be. But okay, so then client, and then I'll comment this out, and then this is
But
the.
what is it? Get user underscore user username. Do you see that on the objects get?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I can
Yeah.
do
Okay.
that.
We just pass in user. Yeah. Got it.
Yeah, hang on. Instead of doing this client.login, I need to run something called client.credentials, which I have.
That's why look. That's why it says create, because you're creating for that particular user. So you know that's why it used get. Sorry, create instead of get on line 10, because you already have the user. You don't have to fetch it. Here you're fetching the user from the database.
Right. That makes sense. Okay, so then we set the credentials HTTP authorization token now, and then we make this GET request.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. It failed, but token has no attribute objects. Token dot objects get user. So token.objects. Do I need to, did I not import it from the right place? I imported it from auth token models token, so that's fine.
Okay, so use create instead of get, just for see if that.
And then probably.
No, don't change anything. Don't change anything. Just change one thing at a time.
You're right.
No, okay, no, that's
token as new attribute. So that is a little strange. Why would they include an appropriate authorization header on all requests? Stop including any credentials.
get or okay. You know what? You should, but still, it should still. There's another method called get or create user equals user on the token. That's
Oh yeah.
Get underscore or underscore create. There we go. Right, but that shouldn't be it because it's still.
It's the objects it's yelling
Yeah.
about. I'm about to just get rid of the objects in a second. Let's see what happens now.
It should be that.
It's going to yell them even more. No, it doesn't have. No.
It needs to be that. Why wouldn't that? Auth token dot model rest framework dot auth token dot models.
Import token. That's the one.
Yeah.
What can it be? Am I not? No.
Could you? Yeah. What if you set a debug and run it internally? See if token is created, or if you can create it manually or something.
Alrighty. So
just type token. It should be nothing.
Well, yeah, it should be nothing. Right.
So just step forward one step.
Oh no, I stepped over. Oh God, I gotta get used to these things. So here we are, and is this step forward one or is it?
There it is.
No, it is step over, but then we get to this error handler.
Yeah.
In manage.py.
Okay, so run it again and just see what the capital T token is.
Maybe it's token.user.
It is not.
But yeah, no, I mean token is
Right. Let's see. There's
You found another example?
No, but there's an issue on Django about this
token
as no attribute objects. That's because you didn't add the auth token in the settings, installed apps.
I didn't do that.
No.
But so
go to settings.
But this auth token, wouldn't it be?
You go to settings py.
Yeah, hang on. Settings py.
And you need to add installed apps, REST framework auth token.
Huh.
Okay, let's try
one. Yeah. Okay. Close you. Close you. Close you. We are here.
You have to run migrate on manage.py also, probably.
You think so?
That's what they said.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Auth token. So it's a different attribute. So well, no, this is a different error message.
Yeah, but it's a tuple. What the fuck?
A tuple? I mean, a tuple is just a, it's parentheses with two items in it. Um,
Well,
it's a Python data structure. I mean, they have tuples in C,
okay.
don't they? I'm not
Well,
sure.
I don't know. It's a long time ago. But anyway, a
Yeah,
tuple
yeah,
has no allocated
yeah.
key. What? Key
Okay,
to. So you have
so
to.
the problem is this line though,
Yeah, yeah.
because it wants
So you have to do token
credentials.
save or something, or no, I don't know. But we need to find out what token is now at this point.
Okay, so I'm just gonna plop
Yeah.
one little debugger, run this, head over to the console. We should actually just see it here. Yeah, look, token has token 0 is the actual. This is driving me crazy. Let's go here. Right. Token is a tuple. Look, it's a tuple, and the first object is so they think token is a dictionary that has a value key. If I do token 0, I get the actual token. So I'm going to change this. Can I do token 0
Can you do it to
dot
string or something?
there? No, it's token 0 dot t. It's just missing um
Yeah, but
a
you need to. Don't you need a coolon there or something on the HTTP authorization?
no, because this, look, if I do token 0 dot key, this is a string. If you add two strings together, notice the space here,
Mm,
then it should just slap them into a big string.
gotcha.
Hey, don't take my word for it though, because I do want to run this. 301, but we didn't error out. So that's interesting. Are we 301ing to like um
Oh my god.
yeah, but hey, come on. I mean,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
feels good. But yeah, it's clunky as hell compared to our beloved RSpec. Um,
Token. Right. I'm just token authentication. What is token authentication? Where is that being used? Authentication classes. Next view set, model view set. I have no. Right. API client get.
if you do again to use, I should get. Uh,
Simplicity, people. Please, simplicity. For God's sake.
yeah.
I remember I was struggling with making requests toward a Node application, Node server,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
then at the end of the day we managed to get this to read almost like RSpec, and I know I sound like a broken fucking record here, but you know, oh gosh. Anyway, we need to be able to make the response. So kind of, right.
I'm just, yeah. And but it's all authentication, right? Like, there's no point of me putting
I mean, what if we don't authenticate? Look, we need to be because in the real app we are able to make to hit that URL without a
yeah,
301, or at
yeah.
least I
Okay, so what if I just here we have our permission classes and the permissions is authenticated. I
just
must be
comment that
able
out.
to
Comment that
turn
out.
this off.
Yeah,
Um, though I don't know. Do I need to migrate now? Probably.
try that. No, okay.
Um,
Still get that
just
for
looking at
sure.
301. Did I change? Did I mess about with the users? No. Um, hang on. Let's think about this. In our URLs, uh, we have this weird API dash off, and then we have nothing. And then in our URLs inside of our API app,
Mm.
I'm just wondering, do we need the API in there? That's possible. So let's see here. Let's see here. No, wait, we don't have. Is this the only? We have these URLs.
Mm.
I would have thought we would have had. Okay. Oh no, here we register users and groups in the router, and then here we do router URLs, and so we include them in the root path. So that's why we can, in our root, click on either. So that should be fine. I'm just worried that internally, is there like is there a request? Is there a request? Is there a request that goes off when I click this? No, it's users and it gets the 200. It's not redirecting me or doing something weird. um, okay. Okay. Maybe I have to, it's not enough to comment it out. Maybe I have to say is not authenticated. That's not a thing. What do I have here? Permissions dot any. All permissions. Is that a thing? Okay. No, does not like all permissions. Um, no. All right, so Django, open up endpoint
So look,
to
I have a
not.
few things, few suggestions. I don't know if that. So he keeps it very, very clear. There's this this real Python whatever blog post with his might be interesting for us because it's about TDD in Python, whatever, and
Mhm,
in Django. Yeah, but anyway, so it means he's written some other tests, but now that we have the browsable API, and it's just let's see if we can get all of the. It's about puppies, right? So he
mhm.
creates four puppies. He apparently is not using an like a factory boy or whatever. So he creates
It's
the real
fine.
objects,
Mhm.
and that's the setup. So apparently we know at this stage that inside of a class the setup is like the before action in NARSpec, right? Or in any other testing framework. And then he just do response equals client. He probably set up client somewhere because we don't see it, but we don't see it. But then he's using reverse. I know. I wonder what that could be, right? Reverse get post puppies. And why would he do that? Isn't this like a weird naming? Because he's making a get request to list all the all the things, and then he is serializing them, all the puppies, and then he's running the assertion that the response data should equal to the serializer data, you know, because he's using a puppy serializer instead of creating an object for it by himself. He's using that,
Yeah.
and then, but the response status underscore code
Mhm.
is status dot HTTP OK, but it's I don't know. I don't know if I learned anything from this, but he's like apparently what is happening here is he needs to make a GET request to that particular route, and I'm not really sure why. It's just not. However, you read this, it's not very readable. I mean, however you look at
No,
it, it's not very readable. Uh, yeah, it didn't make us smarter, so forget about it. Sorry.
no, it's all good. I did move some functions out into setup, and it still works with the 301. Does it still work with this? Yeah, it does.
Yeah, but so if you put a debugger, if you keep it as it was while it's passing,
Well, it's passing. Yeah, sure.
right, and just
Hmm.
set a debugger at 16 and see what is the response. Do we have any response.data or something like that?
So here we are. Yeah, okay. Let's go into here and let's look at response.data. So that is an ordered dictionary.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's what you see when you are. Yeah, test.
yeah,
Yeah, that's exactly what you see on that admin interface, right? Isn't it?
yep.
It just returns users and groups and the URLs to that. So you need to set user slash test server user slash. That's the one you want to use. So,
Test server users slash.
yeah,
Yeah.
and run it now. And where is the
And
response now?
403 with can I get message or something?
Response data or
Yeah, error detail. So I can do dot detail. No, I cannot. I can do detail as a string, maybe.
uh,
Yeah, no, that works.
oh, okay.
And that's an object. What can I?
Why can't you open it? It's just a string. Okay, it's just
Yeah, it's. Oh,
yeah, but okay, so we get that, but you get a 403, and with the authorization, so what did we do to get a 301?
uh, um, that was when we used the login function,
No, yeah,
or was it when I didn't use the setup? I mean, I can move this down, comment this out, rerun this whole shebang, and look at the response 403.
still 403.
Yeah. All right. So that makes no difference. In which case, why not do this? Or hang on, no, there's one error here. I don't need the self if I do it this way.
Yeah, and also online. Yeah, but yeah,
Where
so,
else is the self? Oh, so it's equal. Yeah. Well,
but it doesn't really
that one I
matter. Yeah.
yeah. But now still the 403. Okay.
Right, I have a hard deadline now because I need to pick up Tateus at 1600. I'm so sorry. I'm so glad that I actually saw it.
Yeah. Good on
Yeah.
you.
I'm right. Not much progress. We learn anything?
Yeah, we learned about the database in the testing framework, which works, and we learned about the setup, the before, and we learned some options for logging in. Not that we've gotten any of them working, but we will.
All right, my brother. Thank you very much for this.
I
For
will
this.
push this up. Okay.
Yeah, and if you carry on, my brother. We will get there eventually, and there will be order in chaos
Yeah, of course.
at some point.
All right. Say hi
All
to
right.
Thaddeus.